Hello, everyone. My name is Gloria Rhodes, and I am the Outreach and Diversity Initiatives Librarian at San Diego State University. And welcome again to our virtual book talks and activities for the month of November. And the books that I'm going to share with you today are dealing with wellness, mindfulness, how to just stop, take some time to relax, to breathe, and enjoy life. And this is not only something the adults can do, but also your children. So let's get started with our book talks. And I'm going to turn my camera off, but I will be talking about our books for today. Slide. So, our first book is one that I am sure all of you have heard about, or you will read at some point, or have someone read it to you. It's a take, this is a new version of a well known book, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And you all know about Goldilocks, but this one it has a familiar twist, and it deals with disabilities or special needs. So I'm going to read part of this story to you today, and then you will be able to discuss this later on. So let's get started. It's called Rolling Along with Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This version was written by Cindy Myers, and it's illustrated by Carol Morgan. Once upon a time, there were three bears, a great big papa bear, a middle-sized mama bear, and a spunky little baby bear who used the wheelchair to get around. They lived in the forest in a house that had ramps instead of steps, and that was for baby bear. Yeah. There were three chairs in their home. There was a great big chair for Papa Bear, a middle-sized chair for Mama Bear, and a wee little chair for Baby Bear. Baby Bear's chair had a really slippery transfer board to help him get from his wheelchair to his regular chair. Upstairs, there were three beds. There was a great big bed for Papa Bear, a middle-sized bed for Mama Bear, and a special bed that moved up and down for Baby Bear. One morning, Mama Bear made some porridge for breakfast. She filled a great big bowl for Papa Bear, a middle-sized bowl for herself, and a wee little bowl for Baby Bear. The porridge was too hot to eat, so Mama Bear and Papa Bear decided to take Baby Bear to physical therapy while the porridge cooled off. At the Treetop Center, Baby Bear works with the physical therapist and physical therapist assistant. They are helping Baby Bear's muscles get stronger by doing special exercises with him. Well, that same morning, a little girl named Goldilocks was walking through the forest. She came to the Three Bears' house and knocked on the door to see if anyone was home. No one answered, but the door opened easily, so she peeked inside. When Goldilocks saw the three chairs, she invited herself into the bear's home. She sat in the great big chair, but it was too hard. She sat in the middle-sized chair, but it was too soft. She sat in the wee little chair, and it was just right. Oops, until it broke. Goldilocks got up from the floor and saw the partridge sitting on the table. I'm hungry, she said. She tasted the partridge. The partridge in the big bowl was too hot. The partridge in the middle-sized bowl was too cold. The partridge in the wee little bowl was just right. So what do you think Goldilocks did? Think about it. If it was just right, she probably did what you would do. She ate it all up. Well, now you can imagine she was tired. So she walks up the ramp to the bedrooms and tried the beds. The great big bed was too hard. The middle-sized bed was too soft. The wee little bed was just right. It had a remote control to make it go up and down and everything. Goldilocks lowered the bed, jumped in, and gave herself rides up and down until she fell asleep. Well, by now, Baby Bear was finished with physical therapy, so the three bears headed home. Papa Bear and Mama Bear took turns racing Baby Bear in his wheelchair as they ran through the forest. The moment they got home, they knew someone had been in there. Mm, said Papa Bear in a great big voice. Someone has been sitting in my chair. Land's sake, said Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. Someone has been sitting in my chair. Oh dear, cried Baby Bear in his wee little voice. Someone has been sitting in my chair and they broke it all to bits. Then they all looked at the table. Said Papa Bear in his great big voice. Someone has been tasting my partridge. Land's sake, said Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. Someone has been tasting my partridge. Oh dear, cried Baby Bear in his wee little voice. Someone has been tasting my partridge, and they ate it all up. Then Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear all went up the ramp to the bedrooms. Said Papa Bear in a great big voice. Someone has been sleeping in my bed. Land's sake, said Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. Someone has been sleeping in my bed. Oh dear, cried Baby Bear in his wee little voice. Someone has been sleeping in my bed, and she's still here. So I'm going to let you figure out what happened when the Golden Bear wakes up once the three bears got home. Rolling Along with Goldilocks and the Three Bears by Cindy Myers, illustrated by Carol Morgan. Next slide, please. So Cindy Myers is a physical therapist, and she's the author of this book. And the reason she wrote this is she wanted to include children with physical disabilities. So she wrote this as a way to explain to her children about disabilities. And you can use this book to do the same. Our next story is called Bird Song. And it's by Julie Flett. This song is all about the different seasons. So a young girl moves to her new home, and this new home is far away from the sea, and she's used to the sea, so she feels lonely and out of place. But she soon meets an elderly woman next door. Let's see what happens when they go through the different seasons. Bird Song. It's a mucky spring, first season spring. It's a mucky spring morning as we pack up the last of our belongings and leave our little home in the city by the sea. I'm going to miss my friends and cousins and aunties and uncles. I'm going to miss my bedroom window and the tree outside. Goodbye, tree friend, I whispered. We drive through the country and over the mountains, along rivers and fields of horses. We stop to see a lone coyote crossing the road. Our new home sits on a hill overlooking a field, and past it, another home. And that home lives an older woman named Agnes. The field is covered in snowdrops. Our new home has 2 trees outside and creaky stairs inside. My new room has a shelf for books and pictures and a desk for drawing, but I don't feel like drawing. My hands are too cold. My mom and I bundle up together under the covers in our new home in the country, far from the sea. Then it's summer. Our new home hums with peeps and whistles and rivets and chirps. I watch Agnes, our neighbor, working in something in her yard. Why don't you visit her, Katharina? My mom says. I nod. Okay. I take our dog Uno with me. Uno means owl in Cree. Hello, Agnes, I say. You must be Katharina, she says. Oha barks. Your mom has told me all about you, Agnes said. She says you love to draw. I do. Agnes loves to make things out of clay. She shows us around her yard. There are berries and flowers. So many of her clay things. They look like branches and birds and flowers. Visit me again, Katharina, Agnes says with a smile. I smile back and give her a big wave. I can't wait to go home and start drawing. So then you have fall. And I do visit Agnes again and again and again. Agnes digs in her garden. I help by gathering extra leaves that will get mixed into the soil. The worms love this. It's getting cold and windy and creaky. Agnes says she's getting creaky too. Would you like to see what I'm working on, Katharina? She asks. I'd like that, I say. Agnes is working on a pot that's round and bright. She tells me about waxing and waning moons. I tell her about Cree seasons. This month is called Pima Hashwe Pisum, the migrating moon. Here comes the moon and two shiny seagulls. And there goes the sea geese. So now you have to finish the seasons, which next comes up is winter, and see how the seasons change and how the girl navigates the failing health of her new friend. Bird Song by Julie Fleet. And your activity for this is you use some crayons and markers and color the birds and flowers. And you can also draw about the different seasons. Our next story is called The World Belonged to Us. Next slide. The World Belonged to Us. It's by Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by Leo Espinosa. And the last book was about living in the country. This book, and you will see all about all the seasons, and I read about 3 of the seasons through the book. And so then there is winter, the last season. This is called The World to Us. And this book is about the city and how children have fun in the city during the summer. So the world belongs to us. It's getting hot outside, hot enough to turn on the hydrants and run through the water. That means it's finally summer in the city. Released from school and having fun in their freedom. Freedom because they don't have to go to school. The kids on one block in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is in New York, block take advantage of everything summertime has to offer. Freedom from morning till night. They can go out, they can meet their friends. They make the streets their playground. They have jump rope, playing double dutch. They play tag and hide and seek. They build forts. In the city, there are ice cream trucks. So they chase the ice cream trucks because they're ready for some ice cream so they can cool down from the hot summer. And best of all, they have the mind of children. They believe anything is possible. So the world belongs to us. In Brooklyn, in the summer, not so long ago, grown-ups always had someplace to be or some kind of work to do. But the minute school ended, us kids were free as air, free as sun, free as summer. And even before school ended, the street got so hot that someone always found a wrench to turn the hydrant on, and someone else found a soup can to scrape against the curb till the top and bottom were gone, and it wasn't soup anymore. It was a super shooter. And our mamas opened the windows and hollered, "Don't get your school clothes wet." But we had to run through the water, book bags and all, because our teachers' final words have been, "Have a good summer." Our only plan on that last day of school was to take what they said seriously. And from there, you see all the things that happen during the summer. And so this is in Brooklyn in the summer, not so long ago. My mom would straighten my hair for school with a hot comb, then twist it into spiraling curls that she said should last a while. But they only lasted until I ran head first into the hydrant. And as quick as that, my hair sprung back from straightened curls to natural coils because it was fine this summer, and hair too had the right to be free. And then they spun around and they played double Dutch ropes into blurs, singing, not last night, but the night before. A nickel and a pickle came knocking at my door. And we jumped and we ran and we played, and the whole wide world felt like it belonged to us. Doesn't that sound like fun? Just enjoying life. And then another part of the book says, there was always some new kind of fun. We built forts. And so those are like little buildings out of boxes. Then admired what we made together. We said, you sure can draw, and you sure can build, and you sure can jump, and you sure can sing. And we meant it. And throughout this book, you get to feel what it's like to be free and do what you want in the summer and just have fun being a kid and an adult. The World Belonged to Us by Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by Leo Espinosa. Our next story is called Little P by Amy Krauss Rosenthal, illustrated by Jean Clarice. And this is 3 people in the family, just like the first book, Goldilocks. But this is the story of a pea, like the vegetable. Little P, P-E-A, Mama P, and Papa P. And you'll see just how much fun Little P is having. Little P was a happy little guy. He liked to do a lot of things. He liked rolling down hills, for example, and he wanted to go super fast. He liked hanging out with his pea pals. He liked it when Papa P came home at the end of the day. Papa P would fling Little P off a spoon high in the air, and Little P would scream, "Again, again." At bedtime, Little P very much liked snuggling with Mama P and hearing stories about what Mama P was like when she was a little P. But there was one thing that Little P did not like. Candy. That's what you have to eat for dinner every night when you're a P. Candy, candy, candy. Monday, it was red candy. Tuesday, it was orange candy. Thursday, purple and pink polka dot candy. Wednesday, yellow candy. Friday, striped candy. Saturday, swirly candy. Sunday, rainbow candy. Little P hated all of it. If you want to grow up to be a big, strong P, you have to eat your candy, Papa P would say. If you don't finish your candy, then you can't have dessert, Mama P would say. How many pieces do I have to eat? Eat 5 pieces, you can have dessert. 5 pieces, he whined. 5 pieces, they chimed. 1, yuck. 2, 3, ugh. 5 pieces of candy. Now I can have dessert. Yes, now you can have dessert, said Mama P and Papa P. Little P couldn't wait to see what it was. Spinach, squealed Little P, my favorite. Little P licked his dessert plate clean. Yum, yum, extra yum. So you see what happened in this story? Little P was a vegetable who liked candy, and his dessert was a vegetable. So it's a strange little tale, but it works, I guess. Our next story is um, the cat on the mat. And and the activity is looking for a recipe using peas, which is a great vegetable, and you can enjoy it. So you're going to turn it back into what a pea is really like you can eat. So we all have days when we're really tired and there's so many things on our minds and we're doing so many things. And so this is a take on the cat in the hat. This is called the cat on the mat. And it's all about mindfulness. And mindfulness is this word where you'll see in the story where the cat in the hat has options to just relax. So let's see what happens in the cat in the hat. The cat on the mat. Sorry about that. The Cat on the Mat, a book all about mindfulness. It's by Bonnie Worth, illustrated by Aristides Ruiz and Joe Matthew. I'm the cat on the mat, and what I plan to do is talk about mindfulness meditation with you. Mindfulness meditation will help you to see thoughts, feelings, and senses, and just let them be. Life's a juggling act that can make us feel dizzy, keeping balls in the air all the time. Busy, busy. So if you were to write on some of those balls in the air, you could have like play dates, family, you have to study, you have to play soccer or some other sport, you sleep, then there's fun, then there's school, then there's friends, then there's food, you have to take care of your pets, homework, and the biggest ball, life. With mindfulness, we learn to let those balls go, let them be just for now, and take time to go slow. You can sit in a chair or crisscross on a mat, back straight, hands still, and relax, just like that. We often think of what's past or ahead. With mindfulness, we notice what's now instead. Like boats have their anchors to keep them from drifting, we focus on something so our minds don't keep shifting. A good way to start, or so I have found, is to open your ears to the wide world of sound. Whatever you hear, just let it be there, whether loud noise or soft. You could be listening to a cat purr, or a zoom of a truck outside, or woo woo woo, or a tick tock of a clock, or a buzz of a bee. Whatever you hear, just let it be there, whether loud noise or soft. Can you listen to air? Feel your breath moving as air comes and goes. Feel it move in your chest, belly, throat, mouth, or nose. Breathe in like a wave that pulls back from the land. Breathe out like a wave as it breaks on the sand. You'll find that your mind likes to take off and run. Oh, yes, it is frisky. It wants to have fun. Whenever you notice your mind's gone astray, good for you that you notice. Yay for you. Hip, hip, hooray. Bring the frisky one back. Oh, so gently. That's how your mind learns to stay in the here and now. Take time to calm down and stop wiggling about. Get still. Feel your body from inside, not out. Feel your cheeks, feel your eyes, feel your nose breathing air, lips and jaws hanging loose. Feel your skull, feel your hair, feel your shoulders, your arms, your forearms, and then feel your hands and your fingers. Feel each one, all 10. Feel the length of your thighs as they end at your knees. Feel your shins and your feet, and all 10 piggies, please. Where do you think the piggies are? Your toes. Sense the spaces within. You may sense them all day as you finish this practice and go on your way. Dealing with thoughts, it's no easy task. What makes it so hard? It's your mind, since you ask. Your mind is a chatterbox, nonstop. It just chatters, saying all sorts of things, not much of which matters. So prepare to be mindful, like you've learned to do. Watch your thoughts floating past in the stream next to you. Label them as they come, hope, wish, or daydream. That's all that they are, just words in a stream. So you can see the stream, words like anger or wish or hurt or lunch or study or rush, chest, excitement, win, hope, family, school, loss, but be in the now. Let them all float down the stream. Be kind to them all, whether family or friend, but be kindness of all to yourself in the end. Make friends with yourself. Be the bestest of best, and your body and mind will both get good rest. In this little meditation, you will be sending out kindness and love. That's what it's all about. Imagine someone close to you or apart and think of their goodness down deep in your heart. So close your eyes and you can think of someone that you love deep down in your heart. Send that someone wishes and say them like so. May you know joy. May all sadness go. May you live life with ease. May you be free from woe. May you be strong and wise wherever you go. So you think about peace, calm, and joy. Then turn it around and send wishes out to a wonderful someone. That someone is you. If you say it enough, I think you'll find that you'll live a good life, like the cat on the mat. So you can try these with your child. You can sit on the chair and the floor, crisscross, and just talk and enjoy life. So our next story is, and I actually should have put this the opposite. This is Busy Miss Lizzie. So Busy Miss Lizzie needs to read the cat on the mat. Busy Miss Lizzie is a story by David Shannon. And let's see what this shows. So you can see from the picture that Busy Miss Lizzie is a bee. Well, let's see why she is so busy and what happens when you're so busy that you don't take the time to rest. Busy Miss Lizzie was just about the busiest, buzziest bee anyone had ever seen. Like most little bees her age, Lizzie went to school. She always got straight B's on her report card. That's better than straight A's if you're in B school. Oh, how cute. Lizzie did lots of things besides school, too. She took dance lessons, acting lessons, art lessons, and music lessons. She also played B-League baseball, and she was a member of the Junior Honey Scouts. Everyone asked, "Why so busy, Miss Lizzie?" "Because someday I want to meet the Queen," Lizzie answered. "And when she asks me if I'm the best bee I can be, I'll say, 'Yes, ma'am, I am.'" Of course, Lizzie had lots of friends. Busy Miss Lizzie's best friend was Lazy Miss Daisy. Daisy was just the opposite of Lizzie. She liked to go to the garden and lie down in a big flower. "It smells wonderful," she told Lizzie. "Do you want to come with me?" "I'm too busy for that," Lizzie always said. Lizzie's other friends were quite busy and buzzy, though. Some of them did some things with her. Others did other things with her. But busy Miss Lizzie did everything. The only bee that was maybe even busier than Lizzie was her mom. One day, everyone in Hive Town was buzzing with some exciting news. There was going to be a big spelling bee contest. The busiest, buzziest little bees were going to compete, and the winner would get to meet the Queen. The three lucky bees chosen for the contest were Newsy Susie, who knew pretty much everything about everything, Zach Pat on the back, who never ever got in trouble, and Busy Miss Lizzie. Lizzie was so thrilled, she just about buzzed herself silly. "This is my big chance," she shouted. Lizzie studied so hard for the spelling contest that she barely got any sleep. "I'm worried about you," said her mom. "You need to rest." Daisy agreed. "Why don't you take a day off and go to the garden with me?" Lizzie was cranky. "I don't see how you can just lie around and do nothing," she said. "Well, I like doing nothing," Daisy replied. "It's nice to just think about things, and sometimes I read a book or I talk about other bees. Last time I met a very nice old lady who knows lots of stories. You should meet her." "I'm too busy," said Lizzie again. "Tomorrow is the big day." Daisy smiled. "Lizzie, you're the most amazing bee I know. I'm sure you'll win." "If I can stay awake," joked Lizzie. The next day, the entire colony was at the spelling contest. Everyone buzzed as loud as they could when the Queen arrived. Lucy Susie, Zach, pat on the back, and Lizzie battled through round after round. But then Susie forgot a Z in razzmatazz, and Zach was fooled by bamboozle. All Lizzie had to do was spell quizzical, and she would win. She closed her eyes to think, and then it happened. Busy Miss Lizzie dozed off. She woke up shouting, "Quizzical." Her mom and Daisy were next to her in bed. "I have to get back to the contest," Lizzie cried. "I have to meet the Queen." "That was 3 days ago," said Lizzie's mom. "The doctor says nothing but rest for you now." "I'm so sorry. I should have said that a long time ago." "Well," said Lizzie, trying not to cry, "at least now I know now I can go to the garden with Daisy." "Good idea," said Lizzie's mom. "It's so beautiful," Lizzie gasped as they lay back in a flower. But she was still thinking about the contest. "Maybe I should go home and study my spelling, though, for next year." "Who thinks about spelling in the middle of a garden?" said a strange voice. Lizzie looked up and saw an old bee smiling at her. Daisy shouted, "That's my friend I told you about." Lizzie thought about the old bee looked familiar. Then she realized, you're the Queen," she exclaimed. "You are," mumbled Daisy. "What happened to your big hair?" The Queen laughed. Oh, I wear my wigs so they have something to put that silly crown on." "But aren't you too busy to be here?" Lizzie asked. "I'm busy doing nothing," answered the Queen. "It helps me to be the best bee I can be." Lizzie knew exactly what the Queen meant. "If I wasn't so tired, I would have won the spelling contest," she sighed. "Yep," said the Queen. "But then you probably wouldn't be here. And aren't you happy right now?" Lizzie thought for a second. There she was in the beautiful garden with her best friend and the Queen. "Yes, ma'am, I am," she replied. And that's how busy Miss Lizzie learned to stop and smell the flowers, which, when you think about it, is exactly what bees are supposed to do. So with this book, this is a good opportunity to kind of talk about, you can do a science lesson with bees and get the child familiar with words like colonies and different things that a bee will do. And then when you read the story, just relate it, although the story is featuring a bee, but just relate it to your child or to yourself and say, well, what happens when you just go and you work and you work and you work, or you just steady and steady and steady without taking a break? And that's what this book is about, is taking the time to relax. And as they say in the book, smell the roses or smell the flowers, in this case in particular, all flowers. Next slide. So thank you again for letting me come to you today and read and tell you all about our stories on mindfulness and how to take some time to relax. And thank you and happy reading.